Welcome back to the grim darkness of the 41st millennium. I'm Inquisitor Temperance Price, keeper of the Inquisition's Black Library, and this is the third volume in a report on the Valentyne Heresy, an actual play podcast set in the Genesis adaptation of Warhammer 40,000's Dark Heresy RPG. This report features Game Master Tom McGee and players Ryan LaPlante as Inquisitor Lucius Valentyne, Tyler Hewitt as Attikus Viz, Laura Hamstra as Eli Sharp, and Della Borovic as Morgan Rawls. My report shows that the Inquisitorial band is in tremendous danger. Eli's life was threatened by the king, and Morgan revealed that she could provide him a dead Chaos Space Marine, while Attikus prepared for the hunt and Valentyne knocked out Voidstain to prevent the unarmed noble from getting killed. What will happen now that everything is going wrong? Find out next in this episode of the Valentyne Heresy.
From the Lizardman letter. Oh my. If one were to look towards the balcony, it would seem there's going to be a very different kind of prey. Possibly. Oh dear. Eli, you are being held aloft over the edge of the railing of the chalet. You've got a great view of the reserve. You can see, the trees. You can see creatures moving around in them. You can see kind of at the very far edge, vehicles arriving, fanfare, flags, all that sort of stuff. But right now, none of that matters because you are essentially being held by the scruff of the neck by a fucking space marine who is just holding you at arm's length out over the edge. Yeah. What's going through Eli's mind right now?
Oh, what a shitty way to die. He wanted to die like a swift blast with the smell of promethium coming up towards him, like through the hull decks of a ship. That's the only way he should die.
You want to die in an explosion, like a cool guy.
like a Navy man.
That's fair. So, Pollard obviously is just like, just holding you very stoically. There's no glee in it. It's literally just like, I've been told to hang a coat off the edge of this.
Yeah, I gave up drinking for this.
Did you say that out loud or you just think that?
No, just think that, but he thinks the way he talks.
Yeah, fair. That's good. His internal monologue is consistent.
That's tremendous.
Love it.
All right. Do you try and break your bindings?
No. You're kidding me?
I mean, look, I gotta ask.
Okay. Can we hear the words of the thought process? We got the vowels.
I know all the dogs in the neighborhood just heard that, but I didn't hear it.
No, for what? Space Marine? No.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's actually in the codex. That's,
yes. Yeah. No. That's just like a surefire way for him to get dropped immediately.
Fair enough. All right. Morgan, you are sitting still, hands bound behind your back, just a sweaty, bloody mess across from the king himself, who is giving some thought to a proposition that you'd made towards him. So what I would like from you, Morgan, is a very, very disadvantage-heavy perception check, because he responded to a lot of things that you said, but he's also on a lot of coke.
That is true.
So, and I'm sure 40K space coke is real bad.
Thank you.
Let's see how much you were able to pick up, just as a keen observer of people to determine exactly how you can survive situations.
Great. And what's my difficulty?
Your difficulty, so you're going to take 1 strain just from engaging in a social combat of sorts with him. Because from a skill called Above Your Station.
Yes,
which
that makes sense.
Very funny to me. It's no blather, but it's what we got. I'm going to need, there's going to be difficulty. Well, let me ask you this. Do you think Morgan would be able to parse individual things right now, or is it more just like getting whatever she can get? Or is there anything in particular you would be looking for in response to the torrent of information you unleashed?
Yeah, I think the way that she's dealing with it right now, instead of trying to be sneaky, she's thinking more about all of the bartending. And especially with him on drugs, I'm thinking, how do I deal with a very irritated customer, someone who could be unhinged, and how do I de-escalate and make them amicable to me?
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So looking for not so much for information, but for Inroads.
Yes, inroads to how to decompress this situation. Yes.
Okay, interesting. All right. So in that case, it doesn't need to be perception. I would take a streetwise or a perception, I think.
Okay.
I'm going to say this is a difficulty of 4 because #cocaine.
Yeah.
You can have a bonus. I'm going to give you your concealing information bonus, not because you're concealing information, but just because this speaks to like the very core of who you are. And you are, I guess, concealing like the whole
everything else
Valentyne
going on behind me.
angle.
Yes.
Yeah. And then in terms of other things, I'm going to give you a setback for just your general state. You're not performing from police grade strength. And I think I'm also going to give you a setback for telling the truth. You've kind of painted yourself into a corner because by being truthful, you can't spin a new version of this. It's just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And another setback for Eli.
Okay.
The stakes are weighing on you.
Yeah. And I guess I'm trying to argue for another boost just from having seen so many people on drugs and interacted with those types of people.
That's the one I'm giving you for your conceal information-ish one.
All right.
I'm going to spend a story point.
Okay. Then I will also spend a story point.
I will not adjust my numbers.
Thank you. All right. This could go any sort of way. So here we go.
#Genesis.
Holding my breath. It's bad. 2 failures, 3 threats.
Okay.
It's bad.
You're going to die here, Rolls.
Morgan, you're having a real difficult time parsing anything just because I think for the first time, maybe ever, you have conflicting agendas. It's not, I'm just going to say whatever I can to survive, although there is a huge part of that.
It is a big part of it.
But you've also opened the door for trying to save Eli, which in turn fucks your normal, like, I can just lie my way out of this because you have an additional concern. Plus, there's the concern of Valentyne and what will happen.
I think that's a big part of what's going on in her brain is she's not going to just lie and throw things under the bus because she is keeping the mission in mind. Yeah. And if anything, the fall guy falls to her as far as who is taking the blame for all of this stuff going on. And hopefully Valentyne and Attikus can move on past that. Also, I am down to 4 strain. I am so tired. And it's like unconsciousness is knocking at the door right now.
Yeah. Fair enough. So he keeps tapping the las pistol against his forehead and considering you, just kind of giving you one of those looks that could either be incredibly probing or he could just be very high. You're not entirely sure which. And then he seems to come to a decision. And he lowers the pistol towards you. And he says, you've come from off in the vast galaxy to my planet into the heart of the most important, fun, interesting, and vital part of this society. And you've really just kind of pooched it here, you know? So tell me, Captain, how badly do you want to live?
Quite badly, my king. What is it that I can do for you to earn that?
Are you willing to do anything?
Anything is a rather large and vast question.
Okay, cool. I'll tell you what I'm thinking, and if you say no, I'll just shoot you in the head. Cool?
All right.
Great. All right. So I'm going to need that spicy box you mentioned, that fray. That doesn't go in the reserve. That goes very, very quickly and efficiently to me.
All right.
Okay. No one else hears about this. Great. That said, I understand that's going to put you at a bit of a disadvantage in the whole winning my nephew's hand thing. And I imagine that's not really going to work for you. And the problem I'm having here is I have you and I have your friend, but I don't know where that thing is. So if I just kill you and him like right now, then I don't really get that. I have to go searching and looting and breaking into things. And your ship, you seem like you're tricksy and I don't really want to deal with tricks. So here's what I'm thinking. I need you to tell me where that thing is right away. Right fucking now, actually, as soon as I've done this sentence. And then I'll go collect that. we're going to plant a little bomb right under your chin there. And he just like gestures vaguely with the pistol. And he says, so if you fuck me on this, I'm going to just pop your head off like just, you know, just like a little, I don't know if you have Pez where you come from. We've got a candy here called Pez. It's pretty great. And in that, you just pull a head up and then candy comes out of it, except instead of candy, it'll be like vertebrae and blood and gray matter from your brain. So don't fuck with us. But in turn, because I'm nothing if not gracious, I realize I'm ruining a chance for you to really win this thing, because I agree that would have been a hell of a trophy. Like if that just showed up at the hunt, that really would have been like, whoa. So I'll go call my friends down at Eco Game. And I've had a special thing whipped up just in case I ever needed it. We'll release that into the pen, injured. And I assume you want to win the hunt today.
King, I do like winning, but if it would please you for me to step down and stop interfering in your games, I respect you most of all.
Yeah, but I can't win. I can't marry my nephew. That's real gross. So I need one of these noble clowns to win, and I'm robbing you of your chance. I'm just trying to be fair here. If not, I'll just let Kyrios and Versailles figure it out, or Boberstein, I guess. I don't think that fucker Voidstain's going to pull it off, but like maybe. He's the guy with the big arm, though. You're friends with him. So who knows? Maybe someone you know will win. But all I'm saying is if you want to win, I'll release the beast in there. You can hunt that thing. I'll tell you exactly where it is. You come out looking good. You earn some standing back. But again, if you fuck with me, I blow up your head. But you get to win the hunt. We all have a nice big party. I buy your silence. You give me a real nice gift. And we just call it a day. If I hear you speak a word of any of this, pop goes the head. And I'll blow off each of your friend's limbs before his head. But they'll all go quick, slow enough that he'll feel it, but long enough that he'll still die, but like you'll really feel it all the way down. Because I tell you, these little micro bombs, they're a real bitch. So that's my offer. And then just holds the gun up. And he's far enough away that you can't kick at it or anything. He's dumb, but he's not that dumb.
Yeah.
And he says, so what do you say? Do we have a deal?
Of course. You are so very gracious, and I appreciate it.
Okay, you see, I think you think you're good at bullshit. You're not really that good at bullshit. I know this sucks. I get that. Where's my fucking Space Marine?
It is in the carriage you impounded.
Ah, fuck. I had it already. Ah.
Thank you.
You. And he raises the gun and just has a second of if he's going to pull it.
And she just looks so tired.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, man, this is like shooting a sad puppy. All right, cool. Let me get my bomb guy in here, and then we'll get going. What was the other thing? Your friend. Yeah. I guess I'll get my guy to bring your little buddy in. Unless, do you want me to drop him? Is he a pain in the ass for you?
No, I would appreciate my man back. Thank you.
All right. Just no fun. He points at the two dead guys he shot. He's like, you really got to treat these things as disposable, you know?
Unfortunately, here, I only have what is on my ship and my man, so.
Right. Okay. All right. And hey, do you plan on staying afterwards, or are you going to fuck off back to space?
Unless you would like me to keep my company here, I had plans other places.
All right, so you're going to fuck the Duke and then fuck off out of here. That's good. I like that. I like where your head's at. That's great. We don't need an outsider around.
I thought not.
At least, yeah. Okay. And he pushes a button on his desk, and he's like, all right, hey, listen, I need one of you to go tell Forrest not to drop that guy off the ledge. Be nice about it, I guess. And I need you to go pick up a vehicle. Gives you the instructions for picking up the carriage. And he said, and I need the doc in here. I need him to bring some more of my stuff, and I need him to bring one of the injectors. Actually, two, because we got. Well, hang on. Your friend, he's got robot arms. Does he have fleshy legs, or what's the deal there?
Yes, he has augmented limbs.
Okay, so bring 4 injectors, and we'll just put one in his throat, one in his chest, and one in his groin. That should do it. Okay, great. So I need 4 injectors, and do the other things right away. Chop, chop. Chop, 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 chop. And he pushes the button. Said, great. So we'll get you all bombed up, and then you'll be ready to go. What are you planning on hunting with? Don't tell me. I want to be surprised. I'm sure you've got your stuff. Impounded your carriage, though. So what do you need?
I would appreciate the carriage back after you take the cargo, so we have a way to get to the hunt.
All right, I'll have my guys sweep it, and then you can have the carriage back.
Thank you.
And with that, the doors behind you open, and a very fancy spa-looking doctor comes in with like an injector gun. And he says, so just like tilt your head back like you're, oh shit, you don't know what that is. Just tilt your head back, would you?
Yeah, I don't have an option here.
And it's just like right under the chin, click, click. And you just feel piercing pain as this thing injects. Just in a really inconvenient spot for you. Not exactly a place you can go digging, as it were. And he says, cool, great. Okay, well, we'll get you all set up for the hunt. Your guy should be down by now. Not like down, just partially down. And thank you for your tremendous gift, Captain. I look forward to watching you win the hunt.
You're welcome.
Great.
She's getting herself out of this. She still has her hands tied behind her back and everything.
So Forrest, meanwhile, back out on the balcony, Forrest pulls Eli back up. And he just looks at you with kind of like tired and somewhat bored eyes. And he just says, this isn't the way things should be done. He puts you down. And he said, not really one for apologies, but that's about the best you'll get from me.
Oh, Eli has... this is very unexpected. He hesitates for a second and then just... curt nod.
And Pollard just kind of looks at you again, just like looking through you. He's not really looking at you, just looking through, and he says, yes, these feelings disgust me too. He just shoves you forward. And soon enough, you're ushered into the king's chamber. And sure enough, they inject little bombs, head, chest, groin. And the king just says, cool, great. So no hard feelings about being dangled off the thing there. You're good. You're good. Thank you both so much and enjoy the hunt. This is going to be a great one. Can't wait to watch it. All right. I'll see you both around. One of the attendants will see you out. Forrest, a word, please. And, Forrest just kind of like looks at the two bodies and like gestures for someone to drag those out. And you're ushered out by royal guards and kind of brought to the lobby where you kind of awkwardly wait for them to sweep your carriage and bring it back to you.
There are no words for this. At this point, too, he said, don't speak of this. I don't know if I even know enough about tech that I could tell. Are they just bombs, or is there some sort of listening device on these bombs?
What are you asking me for?
I don't know if I would be able to tell that or not.
All you saw was an injector and something got shot into you. So it could be anything. It could be irradiated for all you know. You have no clue. Just metal was shot into your body.
Okay, perfect.
What the shit do they put in us, and how do we get them out?
Bombs, and I don't know yet.
Why didn't he just kill us? Why keep us around?
He threatened to. He seems to enjoy a good time. We are going to be cleared once they give our carriage back to go to the hunt and potentially win.
I don't understand these people.
I wouldn't hurt your head overthinking it.
All right. I'll tell you what, Forrest Pollard didn't seem to be too impressed by the way the king handled it.
That is good to know.
Felt it maybe beneath him, not the way things are done.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Good looking out, Clarence.
And suddenly just a guy in full camo rushes up and just says, oh, wow, you've been to space? Can you tell me about it? I always imagined it'd be really big up there and wild. And as a hunter, I'm pretty sure I'd be good.
Eli wants to just kind of push him away.
You have no right to do that in this fancy noble space. Also, I don't know if your hands are untied yet. I guess they would be. Yeah, you can.
Am I untied?
Yeah, I guess they're untied both. There's guards on you, though. They still want you out here.
This is just...
Thank you, Clarence. The space is vast and beautiful and dangerous. You should be thankful you live here on this planet where nothing goes wrong.
And he just like looks at you with a mix of confusion and like bewilderment. Be like, "Ah, cool."
Yes.
They like looks at Eli and looks at you. Looks at Eli.
Eli is like sneering.
Like, this is nice. Meanwhile, back out in the carriage, Valentyne, you got some thoughts. You've arrived at the entrance to the hunting space, and it's full safari zone here. Just everyone is over. There's like similar to an F1 race. There's just like tents set up where all like the cars would be dealt with, and so there's just various places. All the competitors are hidden from each other if they so desire, and so far no one is making a big show of it. There was a Voidstain flag with absolutely no one there, so it's just fluttering kind of impotently. Bobberstein seems to be like the sort of most. I went to like a Bass Pro Shop and bought all of the things I thought I might need for a hunt. I don't know which ones I will, so it's like very overdone. There are tents for both Kyros and Versailles that are separated by Bobberstein and Voidstain. They're very, very purposely set aside. And of course, there's still a Balling Song flag up, and there's a couple of like mournful looking staff there who are just kind of like standing tribute, folks who like cleared out but still have some feeling towards the house. Meanwhile, there is space for a Captain Relsvarn flag. There just isn't one because no one showed up to set it up. And there is space for Van Houten, which Hugh Smiggleton has helpfully sort of gone ahead and got set up. So you approach that sort of space. If you want to conceal Attikus and everything else before the race, you can. Hugh's got material for that. It's a little more like shitty scout tent situation, not like full war caravan like some of these other folks. And I'll say that Kyros is in a rounded hangar type thing where it's like it's still tent space has been put up, but it's like a rounded off thing rather than a pointy tent.
All right, my lord, I will establish your scouting tent should you want to take shade before the hunt begins. Is there anyone else you'd like to speak to or engage with before this, or should you focus on the hunt?
I'm quite keen to focus on the hunt. Given recent developments, quite interested in finding out what quarry I'll be bringing home after all.
Excellent, sir. So Valentyne will go over, get Hugh to set up the tent. As he's wandering around, the one thing Valentyne would be doing is trying to keep an eye for that motherfucker from the gate. It'd be real ballsy and real stupid as somebody to bring people here, but frankly, this conspiracy has been very clumsy, assuming things are going to just work out their way. And if he's got any eye on that face, specifically in a Bobberstein uniform, but he doesn't actually care which, that's the person he's keeping an eye out for in the crowd.
Okay, can you give me... God help me. This feels like an investigation to me.
Yay! Perception.
I'm going to say difficulty of 4 just for how much shit is going on. It's, a lot of people are moving in and out of tents. It's not like there's a lot of folks just sort of standing about. So difficulty of 4, but you can have a boost for looking for a specific face. And I'll give you, a boost for chaos. Okay. So the difficulty is higher, but also there's a tremendous amount of chaos, so no one will notice
it's easier to go unnoticed in the crowd, even being Valentyne.
Exactly.
In this circumstance.
Story points sit at 1 and 4 in my favor.
I'm good. I don't think this is worth it. Right. 1 success, 1 advantage.
Okay. So you're scanning the crowd for the guard that you worked with, and particularly the Bobberstein giant tent. And from outside, you do not see him. So from your success, you can reasonably believe that he is not here.
Yeah, that makes sense. He wouldn't expect him to be here, but got to cover the bases investigation-wise. Cool. Then he's just setting up the tent and getting Attikus ready for the hunt. It's just performing this job. It's very public. It needs to be matched.
Great. All right. So you're getting everything set up. Attikus, is there anything you're just getting ready? Because now you actually have to hunt.
Yeah. Attikus is going to stand out in the open while the scouting tent is set up and face with like his back towards the jungle and look at the Duke. He's just going to look at the Duke up in the stands.
Great. So similar to the race, there is a floating platform that comes off of the chalet. You can tell the chalet is the Toronto International Film Festival just happened in Toronto, and there's like the running joke is like if you get invited to a party, it means it's not a party worth being at. So that's the chalet. It's like that's where all the people who are adjacent to the actual thing get to hang out and feel important without being a part of it. And then there's the same sort of floating platform situation that the prince and king will be on, alongside the most favored nobles. Attikus, can you roll me perception, please? Difficulty of 2. Setback for just being really fucking far away. Isn't it nice when setback is literally just like, I don't know, you gotta squint.
2 failures, but 3 advantages.
Okay. So you can't make out the Duke's expression from here. You have no doubt that they have all, and you can see there's all manner of like Terry Gilliam level of like wacky telescope shit. So you can tell that they can see you, but you can't see him. But you can figure out which blurry guy at distance he is. So I think it's very much one of those like, I'm going to stoically stare as best I can at him without, but with the failures, you're unable to tell what you're getting back.
Okay, then if I can't feel any kind of connection on my end, I'm still going to try and go through the motions of making it feel like it's just me and him here.
Totally. And I think you can absolutely do that. And I'll say your advantage you can pass on as I think 2 is you can choose who it goes to.
Okay. I choose me.
Yay!
That makes sense.
Yep. Dig it. Okay.
You've got horse confidence now.
That's right. I've got that horse.
Yeah, never left. Okay, so as the you can tell they're like lining up across the wall to like the big gate that will open to let everyone kind of out into the woods. There's like a line of people with sort of ancient bone horns that are lining up to kind of like signal the start of the hunt. There's people, there's wardens who are like rustling trees and things to like get a bit of an animal frenzy going, just so there's some like adjacent sounds. Also, further down, you can see the lesser houses. Like there's a line of them beyond this that are kind of coming in from a side entrance to gain just whatever favor they can. As this is happening, a familiar carriage comes just fucking careening in. And Morgan and Eli, you arrive. Morgan, you have been warned that the hidden guns are truly the last straw. And that as a consequence of those being discovered, yeah, it's gotta cost you. Given that it's clear that this is a Van Houten carriage with concealed weapons, the monarchy will no longer allow the party to be held at Van Houten Estate. You'll have to hold it at Ballensong instead, where you won't have had time to hide weapons. That's very concerning to them. They're really strict about that shit. And since it's clearly not your vessel, that is the message that Hugh Smiggleton will be receiving right now as all blood drains from his face. And they will be keeping a much closer eye on Van Houten Estate moving forward. It doesn't bode well for your conspiracy vibes. Okay. But you arrive. You're alive. You're here. You're excited to see Voidstain and figure out what's what. You pull up. Valentyne, you of course would see this coming. Eli and Morgan, what do you do?
So we don't have any weapons at all. They took them, I'm assuming.
You had your rifle in the carriage,
and the bolt pistol, and the power sword.
So your rifle, they would have left because you said you had a hunting weapon in there, and I think it's very identifiably yours. Captain Inquisitor's secret armory that was hidden in the carriage is the one they're like, fucking no, what are you talking about? And it's not like you had like a little gun. You had a real big gun and a real big sword. Hence you lose your mention.
And
party.
My pistols or revolvers
Well,
are gone.
technically they're Voidstain's pistols and revolvers. Although I guess maybe you have eminent domain on them. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, your
They're
pistol and
mine.
revolvers.
Sorry. I just gave like Tom a come on.
Yeah, but it was a fair one. I think they would probably... You didn't hide those? You just had them in there.
They were on me when I was arrested.
They would have given you... Oh, no, you're not supposed to have weapons. They would have taken those.
So the bolt, pistol, and sword are gone, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
My God.
I just need a moment to just be ill right now.
I like that somehow you guys dying would have made you both less stressed.
Correct. Yeah. Yes, you're right. That's accurate.
Yeah, but then I would have been sad. I'd rather be stressed.
This makes me sad.
Now we get to take a...
Let's all just sit in this feeling right now.
Seeing the carriage pull up, Valentyne would hurriedly approach, hoping to arm himself before this goddamn hunt.
Yeah.
And he would just the moment you're out the door, he's right there and he's just like, hello, is the package taken care of?
Clarence don't talk.
He turns his head, looks straight ahead, not looking at either of them.
Robrute, things went a bit differently, but I just am here to wish you and the Lord Van Houten only the best today in the hunt. And she's going to make eye contact with him, and she's going to stretch and tilt her head, so hopefully he catches the fact that she has a wound underneath of her face. She's trying to just do that and play it off because she doesn't know how much she can talk here. Until that thing gets looked at, she doesn't know how much she can say. She's not going to let Clarence say anything. She's just...
And Valentyne just cold as ice as Robrute just says, I hope your theft of this carriage does not reflect poorly on Master Van Houten. We shall be extremely disappointed if there are any consequences.
Unfortunately, Figurello, I am such a wild card. You will be so disappointed in repercussions that I have given back unto the Lord's family.
Interesting.
This is what happens when you trust a rogue trader.
I hope you will enjoy sleeping on another property this evening. And he returns to Lord Van Houten, having officially banned the rogue trader who betrayed the house from the Van Houten property.
And that was her plan. Perfect.
The horns blow and the gates open. And there's just a blast of smoke to cover everyone's entrance. It's like the beginning of Laser Quest. Just smoke goes off, and people just kind of disappear into the trees. So, Valentyne, you now know that the package is not...
Oh, we're fucked. We lost it all.
Yeah,
we lost it all, and they fucked us so hard that we even lost what we had. So Valentyne is humming away because motherfucker needs a song in his heart.
Okay, so what do you and Attikus do? You have a moment away from now, Morgan and Eli, given that...
He does not trust any of this to not be bugged. So what he would say to Attikus when he returns is just, My Lord Van Houten, apparently we have been betrayed by the rogue trader who had stolen your carriage, so we will need to move forwards in this hunt as we assumed together.
I see.
Yes, I am equally horrified by these events, sir. My deepest apologies. It was my mistake to give the rogue trader access to any part of the property. We should have kept them trapped on the ship with the rest of their crew.
Are the rogue trader and her cabal, intact?
I do believe so, and they are participating in the hunt, so who knows what betrayal shall come next.
Well, just as well then that they're alive to receive our retribution in due time.
Exactly, sir, exactly.
Robrute, take this rifle. It, displeases me.
I shall carry it, sir.
All right, I need a perception check from Attikus and from Valentyne as you rush into the laser tag smoke.
Yeah, I will say at the same time, Valentyne will take Atticus's microbead and put it on a new channel that the others aren't using so that he and Attikus can have clean communications without it being overheard. He's not sure what the fuck happened, but clearly this has been an absolute disaster and they need complete political separation, at least for deniability.
And to that effect, once it's given back to him and placed in his ear, he'll just say, now that we've secured this channel between you and I, your call sign is number 1, mine is number 2.
Understood, sir. At the same time, remember, this channel may be overheard.
Yes, that's why you're number 1, Robrute.
I understand. I'm just saying you have a distinctive voice, my lord, so people may not be very fooled by number 1 and number 2.
That's
am I number
fine.
1 or am I number 2?
You're number 1.
I might suggest, Lord, that you be number 1 because you are of the greatest import to the house. I can be number 2.
Fine.
Excellent, sir. I'm glad to have pleased you. I'm sorry for the conflict, and I heard the news from Hugh. Undoubtedly, you're devastated.
Yes, I am.
Realizes you haven't heard the news from Hugh. Just gonna let that one go.
Yeah, just Attikus trying to play along, trying to calling you number 1 was just a way for him to not to like the reflex is sir this and sir that. Number 1 is something he can manage, but now I'm number 1, so it's just more of the same charade shit he's been trying to avoid.
Just like that with the crushing weight of everything that's just happened, you somehow end up in an Odd Couple routine.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh my goodness.
All right, so perception. It's going to be difficulty 4. Valentyne, I'm going to give you difficulty 2 because of your augmentation.
Okay.
You get a setback for the smoke, Attikus. You get a boost for both of you being on high alert.
Okay. Is my Auspex useful here?
I don't think you have it out.
It'd be on the hunting gear, but no, I probably wouldn't take it out here. I'd take it out once we
he
get
literally
into...
just handed you a rifle. So this is literally like not you guys going through the woods being like,
Oh,
wait,
no.
let's find a thing.
I'm picturing it the caddy. Like it's slung over the shoulder. We're not in the woods yet. Once we're
Yeah,
in the
well,
woods, it
you're
all
like
comes out.
you're entering the edge of the woods. It's just like this isn't hunting mode. This is the mad scramble of everyone, and
Yeah,
I want to
that
see how
makes
much
sense.
information you get as you go.
Yeah, Auspec's not out. Agreed. Cool.
Yep,
Good to roll.
Let's go for it.
let's do it.
Oh wow, not bad, Attikus. Only 1 failure. That's it.
Great.
1 advantage, 4 success, and a triumph.
Oh shit!
Valentyne is on.
Deceiving all over the place.
He's on.
He
Ryan's doing a little like
Yeah.
needs
dance
a win, is
needs
all
a
I'm
win.
saying.
I'm just saying it might have been the humming. Humming might have done it.
There's nothing better than a Valentyne who is completely goat fucked to immediately focus on the job.
Yeah. All right. So as you both rush in, again, immediately you're just hit by like the heat is more humid here. The plants are giving off a variety of scents and smells, and you obviously know there's a lot of like random creatures out there as well as a lot of competitors. Valentyne, 2 things you get. Attikus, you don't get anything because you rolled a fail. Valentyne, 2 things you notice, and then we can talk about the triumph. No, the triumph is one of those things. You notice visually servitors tracking everything from the trees, just kind of hovering around. Makes sense. People
They
are
want to film
watching.
what's going on.
So you see those, but it kind of adds to your understanding of the like all the walls have ears situation.
This is being filmed live.
Yeah,
They're going to have audio. They're not fucking broke.
Yeah. So there's that. With the triumph. How many successes did you have? It was a stupid number, right? It was like 6.
It was a stupid number. It was 4.
Okay. So I'm going to let you make an argument for your triumph, I guess, because I think that would be fun and you need a win. So
God.
you...
He finds a power sword.
I'm taking it right. I'll turn this car right around.
I know. I'm joking.
Drive
But
it
I want to
back to
hear.
the hive city.
I want to hear the second
Yeah.
piece.
So the second piece is you hear.
Stop acting like you're giving us too much. This is hell. None of this is easy, Tom.
I mean, it was easy until this episode.
You hear a grinding of gears and machinery, kind of off to your right, moving very rapidly, and the crunch of branches and trees as something very big and very heavy kind of forces its way through them. So those are the 2 things you get from just your many successes. For your triumph, is there something in particular you want to spend that on that isn't a fucking like Excalibur power sword they forgot about that's just rusting in the
Between, I would say, let me pitch this and then you can figure out the answer, because this is Valentyne's big piece of knowledge here is if there were like Boberstein snipers means to Valentyne, that's confirmation that the people who were fucking over Voidstain were Boberstein. They're spreading it around, but like we have Boberstein snipers. Boberstein was the one who called in the fire. It was rigged to exist there, and we got the information from Kyros, which might mean Kyros and Boberstein are one team up. He doesn't fucking know. But if Boberstein's the problem, Boberstein snipers also saw Attikus and Valentyne go down into an area then come back out, and now there's no evidence in the area, which means like we've made ourselves players in the Borovic awareness of who's helping Voidstain, who's fucking shit up. A good time to eliminate this, if you say we're trying to hack and capture information about this hunt, would be the hunt. He's very determined to not be murdered by snipers, would be his goal, or whatever trap is in play. He knows Attikus will focus on the hunt. He's focused on trying to figure out who's going to try to kill them or something here.
All right. I like that. So as you make your way in, that all hits. You realize that this is a goat fuck. So your brain kind of like time slows. You concentrate on like, at the very least, I can deal with this Borovic thing, everything you just described.
Yeah.
I think kind of slinging the gun down as there's still the smoke screen. You pull out your Auspex, quickly flick over to, I assume you could read a map on an Auspex, but it'd be very small, or would you have like a data slate?
He's also got a data slate. So I imagine kind of like plug one into the other.
So
and
whip out
he can almost like forearm mount it so that he's got the ability to keep both hands free. But, you know, it's on the inside of the forearm and the left arm supporting the rifle as it's up.
I gotcha. Nice. So you give it a quick glance, and I think with your triumph, we can say if your concern is ambush points, a quick look at the map would give you a good sense of like, okay, if it were me, I could trap any of these hatches, or I would hide in trees and XYZ, just at a glance. So I think it's easy enough to kind of maybe even have a subroutine that Eugene can run that just like red marks all of the spots that would be a problem. So it's not to say you can't still get jumped. You just have a like, there's probably a problem.
He's got commissar training, which means he go into the field with the guard and like know what was going on. And it's where, because everything we've seen has been capable, but by like with an amateur level of conspiracy, but a very capable level of homicide. Which is like the bomb worked and they killed everyone and they hid snipers we didn't spot, but they were sloppy in how they did the wall. So it's like, okay, they're not going to have like veterans who are going to be thinking 2 steps ahead of like, oh, we need to ambush somewhere outside of where it would be convenient to really sucker punch somebody. So yeah, this makes perfect sense to me. He's just got to lay the land for like, this is the part where we could get shot real easy.
Fair enough. All right. So with that knowledge in mind, the two of you make your way in. I assume, Attikus, do you throw off the cloak as soon as the cameras have an eye on you?
Yeah, no.
Nope. Hang on to it.
Keeping the cloak.
Let's say Valentyne would tap his lord on the shoulder and point out the servitor cameras to make sure Attikus knows that this is a filmed event. He's not interested in Attikus being surprised by that fact.
Right. He'll give you a knowing nod, but keep the cloak on. Everybody who's seen him, he was standing outside of his scouting tent, knows that he only knows him to look at a cloak. So now I've got a cloak I can hang up somewhere in the jungle, and that's the target, and I'm not actually there. So the cloak stays on until we're in cover.
Amazing. So the two of you start to stealth your way forward into the jungle.
This episode of the Valentyne Heresy features the voices of players Ryan LaPlante, Tyler Hewitt, Laura Hamstra, and Del Borovic, alongside Game Master Tom McGee. This episode was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra, and the Valentyne Heresy's artwork was created by Del Borovic at delborovic.com. That's DELBOROVIC. Our theme song is The Hordes by Megan McDuffie, and our ad breaks use the tracks No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, JAHZZAR. All of their music is available at freemusicarchive.org. For all things Dum Dums and Dice, including merchandise and how to join our Patreon, you can visit dumdumdice.com or find us on social media at dumdumdice. That's DUMBDICE. Ave Imperator, and death to all the heretics.
Dum Dums and Dice has to give a special thank you to the supreme beings of our Patreon at this time: Christopher Little, George Dolby, Richard Cranium, Gavin and Abby McDonald, Logan, Fire Unfriendly, Grandma Likes D&D, Alan, Stabby Stranger, Glitch Trick, Flynn1138, Alarain Okapi, Schrodinger's Pepper, Guy Edwards, Madre de Gatos, Lady Maiden, Garbo Abe, Locke, Sam Schaefer, Waffle Marine, Dagger Rain, Rob L, Dia De Los Hoodless, Squishy Werewolf, Remy Funky Head, Nomad, the wise paladin of the Badlands, Accent Therapeutic Services in Florence, Kentucky. Lael, Shulzari, Gus Schreider, The Long Family, Jordan Oliver, Richard Wright, Brittany Fenwick, and Jill and Noel LaPlante. If you want your name to be added to this list, you can join our Patreon too at patreon.com/dumbdumbdice. Thanks to them, and a little bit of thanks to you.